Hello everybody and welcome to the Simpsons arcade game. Let's play it. Alright, now as you can see here, this is probably one of my favorite all-time beat-em-up games. And it's the Simpsons, so you gotta love it. So I'm gonna choose Homer here and head on into the first level of the game. As you can see, this is old Simpsons, which is the better kind, to be perfectly honest, because I'm pretty sure the episodes have lost their luster since the early 90s. So here we have downtown Springfield, the first level of the game that I'm going to be tackling today. Now, many of you probably played this and you've completely forgotten about it, but I haven't, to be honest. It's a fantastic beat-em-up in lieu of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, Streets of Rage, Final Fight, you know, just the classic beat-em-up. This was released in 1991 by Konami in arcades, and it was never ported to a console until just recently. It was ported to the XBLA and PSN. So, new fans and old fans alike can finally enjoy this classic game. That's about it. I'm just going to get right into the gameplay here. As you can see, the enemies so far have been guys in suits, and that's pretty much going to carry through for the rest of the game here. Homer has a couple basic attacks, jump patterns, but basically they all do the same amount of damage. There's also the flying kick move, is what you saw right there, which is what happens when you press both the jump and punch button at the same time, and it's stronger than your average move. Smacking these trees enough will release a white rabbit, known as Blinky. If you release 4 of them, you earn an achievement, if you're playing on the Xbox or PSN versions. So you might want to do that. If you don't know where they are, I'll show them. And here comes the first boss already. This is the Wrestler. Not much to say here. Pretty simple boss. I'm not going to get into it that much. He's kind of a pushover. Again, he's the first boss, and also one of the more notable bosses of the game because everybody's gotten to this guy. As you can see at the top left-hand corner, you see my point counter at the top says 21 right now. My life counter says 4, and I'm about halfway, health-wise. Most of the arcades that I've played this at, and it's only a handful to be honest, but I've only been to a handful, they only start you at 2 lives, which is actually the same difficulty as very hard, which means that they've obviously changed their machines to make the game harder and obviously soak up quarters because this is what the game was made for. Here's the first bonus stage of the game, and it's basically mash buttons, and this is what broke a lot of machines. You have to press it extremely fast. Hold on a sec. Yeah, okay. God. X and A. That's so taxing. Oh, Nintendo 64 points. Again, this is a 4-player cooperative game, if you haven't noticed by now. Shane actually won't be joining me for a while. He's going through a lot right now. His father recently passed away, so I'm going to be doing some commentaries for now, solo, until he gets back. But I'll try to keep, you know, whatever he brought to the table alive. So this is the second level, Krustyland. It's pretty linear, like every other level in a beat-em-up. You go to the right of the screen. There's Santa's Little Helper, one of his only appearance in this game, and you can use him as a weapon. Of course, there's Otto on the left there, and one of these Season 1 characters whose name I'm really going to be angry that I don't remember his name right now, but he died. I know that. I'm really angry with myself for not knowing his name, and it's going to come to me after I'm done recording this, and I'm going to be really pissed off that I don't know. Here's the hammer. It's actually the best item in this section, and especially good for the final boss, so hopefully I can keep it till then. Some lobsters here. Yeah, I spoke too soon. Oh boy, this is going to be a great Let's Play. So this next section here, teacup enemies, it's actually pretty unique. It's one of the few enemies in this game that actually has somewhat of a shield. Again, it takes 2 hits to kill these guys, but the guys in the pink shirts are actually stronger than the guys in the blue shirts with the hats, sometimes with the hats. But yeah, they're actually the only enemies with shields other than bosses that just blink when they're about to die, so... Yeah, this is the second Blinky tree right here, by the way, if you're looking to get that achievement. You just pound the crap out of it. If you're playing 4-player, you get more items, but since I'm only playing 1 player, it sort of defeats the purpose to hit it more than 1 time, so you'd never really be able to find him. Again, This is a fantastic game. If you don't have it and you've never played it, I suggest you at least try the trial because it's not a hard game by any means. It's a simple pick up and play game. You can have this out at a party and people will love to play it. And a lot of people have played it because it reaches a big audience with The Simpsons. I first played this when I was around like 4. It was probably one of my first arcade games. Not because I knew The Simpsons, but because it was such an easy game to get and pick up. In the arcades, I mean, there's no home console releases except for this one now. I mean, it's probably due to a licensing thing with Konami. This is actually one of the few Japanese Simpsons games that were made, and it's actually probably the best Simpsons game that was ever made, in my opinion at least. Hit and Run and Road Rage were good in their own right, but they were pretty much just Crazy Taxi and Grand Theft Auto, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, The Simpsons add flair to anything. There's also wrestling, which was pretty awful, and The Simpsons skateboarding, which was pretty awful. I enjoyed wrestling for what it was, to be honest. I never owned skateboarding, but I heard it wasn't that good. And then there was, of course, the Bart series of games that came out on the Game Boy that were really popular, but apparently really hard, as well as like the Super Nintendo, NES, Genesis era of games. I believe that there was games for them. I never owned any of them, but I do know that they're notoriously difficult. And here's the second boss that everybody knows, because this is the one that steals the quarters. The giant, crusty head ball thing that smacks you. Again, these bosses actually don't have official names, except for a handful of them, because they're actual characters. These are all original Konami bosses, and have never been seen within the series, to my knowledge. But that's fine. Oh, Smithers was apparently inside of it. And I'm falling to my death. Great. And now we're at Stage 3, the Springfield Discount Cemetery. Probably one of my favorite levels in the game. I like the star backdrop in the back, how it switches between 2 palettes of stars. That's always nice. This is one of the levels that is actually easier. Now, when you purchase, in the Japanese ROM, I mean, when you purchase this game on the Xbox Live Arcade, if you beat it once, you unlock the Japanese ROM. Right now, I'm playing the US ROM on the normal difficulty, but with unlimited continues, because if I screw up this recording, it won't kill me. Basically, what the Japanese ROM does, it makes everything easier. If you pick up an item with full health, you actually get more health. Weapons do more damage. I believe they're instant kills, and you actually get, when you get the slingshot in this level later, it basically one-hit kills anything without even thinking about it, which is very convenient because the zombies here take a lot of damage if you don't know how to handle it. Here's the slingshot right here, and it just killed it right there because it was already weakened, but if I hit this guy a couple times, he's not going to go down easily. I believe, yeah, it takes 3 in the American version, but it takes 1 in the Japanese version. The Japanese version's 150 times easier than this one, and if you're going for difficulty-based achievements, I highly suggest you use that one instead. There's also nuclear bomb power-ups you can get in that one that clear a screen, basically, of enemies if you get overwhelmed, which in multiplayer modes happens quite often. But again, you know, it's meant to have other people playing with you. Sadly, I have no friends, so this is sort of impossible. So yeah, right now I'm just taking out some thriller zombies and heading to the end of the level, sadly. It's a short level, despite it being one of my favorites, but this ending's pretty interesting here. You actually, if you didn't read that tombstone before it opens, it's actually Krusty the Clown's gravestone. Well, yeah, right there it says it, Krusty. I'm not really sure why, because he's still alive. I guess they just did it for dramatic effect or something. I don't know. And here's the throwaway elevator level that's in every beat-em-up game ever, including Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which parodies it. Yeah, this is extremely easy. The jump kick really gives them enough distance to actually, like, spin off and die. Not much to say for this section of the graveyard, just other than it's so tedious because every game has this that's a beat-em-up. Oh, crap. And that's my first continue. So we're up to a total of 1. Let's see how much it takes me to beat this game in one playthrough. And I'm pretty good at this game, I'll be honest. Not because I missed that guy 3 times, but... Ah, crap, I didn't even pick that up. I consider myself good at this. I've completed this game in arcades. It's taken me around $5, with 50 cents being a credit, at 2 lives a pop, which I think is a pretty decent achievement. These two guys, they're not characters in the show. They're just random mobsters. And their only appearances in this game, I kind of feel bad because they kind of seem like they could be fleshed out a little bit, but the little one is harder to kill than the larger one. As you can see, he's dodging most of my attacks. I'm not doing anything at all. Maybe that's just a palette issue or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, the bosses in this game aren't too bad. This is actually the only boss that doesn't blink, which is strange. And Smithers. But yeah, maybe that was coming. Typically, final bosses don't blink. They just sort of go down. So there we go. That's level 3 done, and now we're off to the underground version of Moe's Tavern. I don't know why this is underground, because it was never underground in anything, but oh well. It's also very large compared to that of the actual Moe's Tavern. Yeah, not really sure why they took this design choice for this level, but whatever. There's also women in Moe's, which is pretty rare, seeing as it's usually just Barney, Homer, and the other drones that go there. Lenny and Carl. That's about it, to be honest. But yeah, it's actually pretty populated tonight with plenty of palette-swapped guys in suits that are throwing hats at me and apparently are getting me stuck in a ring of combos. God dang it! There we go. Got some funnel cake there, I think. And I'm gonna throw this... Oh, 2 in a row! Hit wiggle joystick, yeah. Just mash buttons there. I got a bottle of booze here. I just blew up, apparently. Moe does not like me standing on the table, so I'm gonna get off here. And chuck this. Yeah, 3 for the price of 1. That's some good stuff, right? Oh. If you look up there, Maggie's actually on the TV right there. Like, I don't really know why, but yeah, there's a slingshot here, which is good. Bleeding Gums Murphy. Yes. Best saxophone player around. Another season 1 character who's dead. God, I miss these characters. Oh, man. I think the dancers are from an episode 2. Another early episode. I love this game. This game takes... Oh, my God. I forgot those things exploded. This game really takes me back. It's a much simpler time in the early 90s. We had Legends of the Hidden Temple, Nickelodeon Guts. Which makes me think, whatever happened to, like, the Aggro Crag? Where is that? Oh, look, the Simpsons arcade game's right there. By Konami. That's cute. It makes you wonder whatever happened to those shows. The jazz music calendar in the corner. Oh, no. The Stoner. Here's the Shane Lutz boss, everybody. Oh, man. This, I don't even understand what this guy is supposed to be. I guess it's supposed to be, like, the Brawler character from... I don't know what he's supposed to be. He kind of looks like Moe, but he's not Moe. He's like Moe's, like, cousin. So, wow, I died twice. That does not happen with this guy usually. Oh, he's already blinking. He's also the flamethrower boss. Listen to his voice clip here. That doesn't even fit him at all. It's so random. Oh, well. Another elevator. Thankfully, no elevator level. And we're heading into another one of my favorite levels here, the Springfield Butt. Smithers. Afraid of a bear. And Maggie's in the water now, apparently, so have to follow the lake to get to her. Look at that sunset in the background. That's a beautiful sunset. I don't even care. I think the Springfield Butt was a Simpsons Road Rage location. I seem to remember that. I don't know. I rented that game so much. I really don't own a Simpsons game. I own the Simpsons game for the Nintendo Wii, but, and I rented it for the Xbox and got the achievements. Dang, that's 2 continues. Here's a 3rd Blinky Tree, by the way. But I never really owned, oh, you know what? I actually have, the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror for the Game Boy Color. and that's a really difficult game. I've never managed to beat it without using passwords, to be honest. It's really, really tedious, and it's not really enjoyable. When I was a kid, I really didn't know where to get games, so I went to Toys R Us a lot, which is like right by me. I could almost walk there. Just gotta get past the turnpike. But they always had, like, that's where I would go for games, and they always had, like, older games. Like, when I was in 2nd grade, I got my Game Boy Advance, and this was back in 2001. And at the time, they still had Game Boy Color games, so I would get a couple of them if I went, and that just happened to be one of them one time. And I got really frustrated with that game. I believe the first level was Bart, and you're in some kind of house. I don't remember entirely what went on with that game, but I think there was another level where you were Maggie and you were a fly. Yeah, that was a really hard game. I was never big on The Simpsons when I was a kid. When I was about, I think, 7 and 8, I really liked The Simpsons because, again, Hit and Run and Road Rage were pretty big to me in terms of rentals of games. So Raccoon. Oh, Sideshow Bob, before he was a jerk and tried to kill Bart like 8 times. Look at that bear. But yeah, it's... I don't know. I sort of want to track down Road Rage and Hit and Run and play him again. Whoop! Here's another boss. Here's the bear from the zoo that broke out of the cage. Apparently he got himself stuck in an avalanche of rocks and is now Sonic spin-dashing me into a corner. Which is kind of a negative, I suppose. Some falling rocks here. Again, most of these bosses follow suit in the fact that you hit them a couple times, you leave the battle, and then you come back and you hit them some more until they start blinking ferociously, in which then you hit them a couple more times and then they die. It follows suit of every fighting game I've ever played and every fighting game I will probably ever play. Or at least the classic ones. I never understand that dance. Oh, there's Maggie. Are you serious? When did he get that helicopter? Oh, crap. God dang it! Well, I guess that does it for part 1. See you guys next time.